The Lok Sabha passed the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganisation Bill 2021 on Saturday. The bill seeks to replace an ordinance to merge the J&K cadre of civil service officers with the Arunachal Pradesh, Goa, Mizoram Union Territory cadre, leading the opposition to ask, will statehood be restored to Jammu and Kashmir? The Union Home Minister's response, at the appropriate time.
सदस्य टी सुमति और काफी सारे सदस्यों ने कहा कि बिल लाने का मतलब ही है कि अब जम्मू कश्मीर को स्टेटहुड नहीं मिलेगा। भाई, बिल को पायलट तो मैं कर रहा हूं, लेकर मैं आया हूं, मंशा मैंने स्पष्ट कही है, कहीं पर भी नहीं लिखा है कि स्टेटहुड इससे नहीं मिलेगा। आप कहां से ड्रॉ करते हो? आपकी मन की आशंकाओं को जम्मू कश्मीर की जनता पर क्यों थोप रहे हो? मैंने इसी सदन में कहा है और फिर से कहता हूं कि इस बिल का जम्मू कश्मीर के स्टेटहुड से कोई लेन देन नहीं है। उपयुक्त समय पर जम्मू कश्मीर को स्टेटहुड दिया जाएगा। यहां कहा गया कि धारा 370 हटाने के वक्त जो वादे किए गए थे उसकी दिशा में क्या किया? मैं तो जरूर इसका जवाब दूंगा। मुझे मौका दीजिए आपने जवाब देने का। मगर भाई, 17 महीने हुए धारा 370 हटे हुए, आप हमसे हिसाब मांग रहे हो। 70 साल आपने क्या करा, इसका हिसाब लेकर आए हो क्या? क्या किया 70 साल? और अगर 70 साल ढंग से चलाते तो हमसे हिसाब मांगने का समय ही ना आता। पंचायत के चुनाव हुए, कहीं पर भी गोली नहीं चलानी पड़ी और मान्यवर शांतिपूर्ण मताधिकार का प्रयोग हुआ। 51% मतदान पंचायत के चुनाव में हुआ है और जिन्होंने धारा 370 वापिस लाने के आधार पर चुनाव लड़ा था वो साफ हो गए, साफ। कश्मीर में आज तक राजे रानी के पेट से ही पैदा हुआ। ये 3 परिवार के लोग ही शासन करते थे। तीन परिवार के लोग ही शासन करते थे और इसीलिए उनको धारा 370 सूट करती थी। 50,000 परिवार को स्वास्थ्य बीमा के तहत कवर कर दिया गया है। रोजगार के अंदर लगभग 10,000 युवाओं को कवर किया, 6,000 नए काम शुरू करे और 4,440 क्रिकेट और फुटबॉल की किटों को गांवों में पहुंचकर बच्चों के हाथ में बंदूक की जगह क्रिकेट का बैट हो, इसकी व्यवस्था हमने करी। दादा, 70 साल में जो नहीं हुआ वो अब हो रहा है, वो आपको मालूम होना चाहिए।
But it wasn't a one-way speech. It was in fact a heated debate on the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganisation Amendment Bill, with the opposition leaders questioning the government's intentions.
24 सेक्रेटरी के पोस्ट हैं जिसमें से सिर्फ 5 कश्मीरी मुसलमान हैं। 58 IAS के पोस्ट में सिर्फ 12 मुसलमान हैं, यानी 17.24। IPS में आ जाइए सर, 66 पोस्ट हैं जिसमें से सिर्फ 7 मुसलमान हैं। दूसरे दर्जे के अफसरान में 248 में 108 यानी 43.54% मुसलमान हैं। मैं सरकार से जानना चाहता हूं कि आखिर आप कश्मीर की रियासत के स्टेटहुड को बहाल करेंगे, नहीं करेंगे?
सब देश को सपना दिखाया कि जम्मू कश्मीर में हम स्वर्ग बनाने जा रहे हैं। नौकरी मिलेगा, काम मिलेगा, घूमने को मौका मिलेगा, आतंकवाद खत्म हो जाएगी। 1.5 साल की लगभग होते जा रहे हैं। अब आप कानून ला रहे हैं कि जम्मू एंड कश्मीर में कैडर नहीं है, IAS, IPS, IFS नहीं है। आप जरूर ये स्वीकार करेंगे कि बिना तैयारी के साथ आपने ये 370 एप्लीकेशन किए।
जो उन्होंने वादा किया था इस फ्लोर पर, इस सदन में, कि ये जी स्टेट रेस्टोर हो जाएगी, तो अगर वो रेस्टोर हो जाएगी तो 13 में अमेंडमेंट करने की क्या जरूरत है?
Almost 2 years after the event, what has he achieved? Internet 4G was restored after 500 days. What a draconian step. The students had to study due to pandemic from home. They didn't have the facility of internet and you had to arrest all the leaders of the national political parties.
And the right to protest and express dissent comes with certain duties and responsibilities. Protests cannot be held any time and anywhere, the Supreme Court said in an order dismissing a review petition on the anti-citizenship law protests held in Delhi Shaheen Bagh in 2019. The right to protest cannot be any time and anywhere. There may be some spontaneous protests, but in the case of prolonged dissent or protest, there cannot be continued occupation of public places affecting rights to others. The three-judge bench said as it declined to review its last year's order that the occupation of public ways during the anti-CAA protests at Shaheen Bagh was not acceptable. And though the review petition was decided on the 9th of February, the order came late on a Friday night, and the three-judge bench reiterated public spaces cannot be occupied for protests and public spaces must be in designated areas alone. Meanwhile, the Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar, citing previous observations by the Supreme Court, has now even said that the Supreme Court has said that no one had the right to destroy public property, and so his government will be bringing in a law to recover damages to public property from those who vandalized it.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी एक बार निर्णय दिया था, कभी भी किसी को भी जो पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टी है उसका नुकसान करने का अधिकार किसी को नहीं है, और ये हम उस कानून को इस अगले सत्र में लेकर के आ रहे हैं कि पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टी को जो नुकसान पहुंचाएगा भरपाई उसकी करें.
And while the government says it is supportive of the farmers who've been sitting in protest for over 3 months, that it wants to reopen channels of communication with them, this was the response of Haryana's agriculture minister when media persons asked him about the deaths of farmers on Delhi's borders. Remember, nearly 200 farmers have lost their lives due to various reasons during the ongoing farmers' agitation against 3 contentious farm legislations. Here's the Agriculture Minister of Haryana's response.
हमने कह रखा है भाई किसान को छेड़ना नहीं, इनको आराम से 2 अक्टूबर तक तो अगला टाइम दिया है, हम कहेंगे अगले 2 अक्टूबर तक और बैठो भाई. 2 अक्टूबर का तो खुद ही कह दिया बैठे, तो हमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. मुद्दा तो कोई रहा है नहीं, 2 अक्टूबर का टाइम उन्होंने खुद दे दिया है भाई, बैठो, जगह ही तो ले रखी है, और क्या दिक्कत है. ये 200 किसान मर गए, इस पे क्या कहना है आपका? ये घर में होते तो भी मरते, यहाँ नहीं मर रहे क्या? ना मेरी बात सुन लो, आपके ये 1 लाख 2 लाख में से 206 महीने में नहीं मरते क्या? आप एक ये ऐसे ही मर गए. मेरी हाँ, कोई हार्ट अटैक होकर मर रहा है, कोई बुखार होकर मर रहा है. आंदोलन में मरने वाले, आंदोलन का आपको बताओ, आंदोलन में हिंदुस्तान की एवरेज एज कितनी है और साल के कितने मरते हैं, उस रेशो में मरे.
And the Congress, of course, has called this highly insensitive, and this video has gone viral. And now, after outrage, the Haryana Agriculture Minister has issued a clarification. He says that my remarks have been twisted, and if anyone has been hurt, he apologizes.
मेरे बयान का जो है गलत अर्थ निकाला गया, जो थोड़ा बहुत तोड़ मरोड़ करके सोशल मीडिया पे चलता हुआ मैंने देखा है. अब फिर भी किसी भाई को अगर मेरे बात से किसी तरह का कष्ट हुआ हो तो मैं क्षमा याचना करता हूँ.
And Rahul Gandhi addressed a tractor rally in Rajasthan's Ajmer, and with an eye on the optics, he drove into the rally driving a tractor himself and addressed farmers who were also seated on tractor trolleys. Farmers from Rajasthan have so far been on the sidelines of the farmers' agitation that have been dominated really by farmers from Punjab and Haryana and Western UP. And Rahul Gandhi's presence in Rajasthan is aimed at possibly revving up the issue in this Congress-ruled state.
Rahul Gandhi driving a tractor at the Congress's farmers' rally in Rupangarh in Rajasthan's Ajmer district. The photo op was hard to miss. A stage made up of 4 tractors from where Rahul Gandhi addressed the crowd, and the audience, also seated on tractors, drove home the point Rahul Gandhi wanted to make.
हिंदुस्तान का सबसे बड़ा बिजनेस, सबसे बड़ा व्यापार कृषि है. 40 लाख करोड़ रुपए का बिजनेस है. अब नरेंद्र मोदी जी चाहते हैं कि 2 मित्रों के हवाले हो जाए.
Giving the agitation against the farm laws a political stage suits the Congress in Rajasthan at the moment. Just last week, Ashok Gehlot's rival, former Deputy Chief Minister Sachin Pilot, had started addressing mass rallies in support of farmers. And bringing Rahul Gandhi to raise the issue in Rajasthan has brought the 2 rivals, Gehlot and Sachin, together on one platform. The farmers' agitation so far has not seen the Rajasthan farmer center stage. But by Rahul Gandhi's visit, the Congress is hoping that it can also galvanize the farmers in Rajasthan to join the farmers' agitation. In Ajmer, Harsha Kumari Singh for NDTV.
And taking up complaints about the alleged illegal detention of Nodeep Kaur, a 23-year-old labourer and trade union activist, the Punjab and Haryana High Courts now have issued a notice to the Haryana government. The court has asked the government of Haryana to explain about the complaint filed against Ms. Kaur, who was arrested on the 12th of January when she had joined a protest by labourers at the state's Kundli and has allegedly suffered sexual abuse while in the custody of the police, a charge the police have denied. And the second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine has begun being administered on Saturday morning to all those who took the first shot on day one of India's nationwide inoculation drive. That was on January 16th. 7,668 healthcare workers received the second dose on Saturday.
Second dose vaccination has started from today, that is 13th of February 2021, for the beneficiaries who have completed 28 days after the receipt of first dose. As on 13th February 2021, till 6 p.m., the total vaccinations which have been carried out are 80,52,454. Vaccinations to the healthcare workers, out of this, are 59,35,275.
And a war of words has now broken out between the BJP and the AAP over the murder of a BJP worker this week, a 25-year-old who was stabbed to death on the 10th of February. The case has now been transferred to the crime branch. The Delhi police has maintained that there's a business rivalry was behind the murder, but the family is alleging a communal motive.
3 days after 25-year-old Rinku Sharma, a BJP worker, was stabbed to death in Delhi, allegedly by his neighbours, Delhi police chief transferred the case to the crime branch. This after the family of Rinku Sharma alleged a communal motive behind his murder. Officials from the Forensic Science Laboratory visited the home of Rinku Sharma at Mangolpuri in West Delhi to collect evidence from the crime scene. But even as the investigations progress, a political blame game has begun. Aam Aadmi Party attacked the central government and the Delhi police, asking them to take responsibility for the death of Rinku Sharma and demanded the resignation of Home Minister Amit Shah.
केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री की पूरी जिम्मेदारी है इन हत्याओं में। उनकी नाक के नीचे हत्याएं हो रही है और उनकी पुलिस इन हत्याओं को होने दे रही है। क्या राजनीतिक फायदा है इसके अंदर भाजपा का?
Member of Parliament from Northeast Delhi constituency and former Delhi BJP chief Manoj Tiwari condemned the killing and demanded strong action against the culprits.
इसमें जो लोग गिरफ्तार हैं वो जघन्य अपराधी हैं और उनको कड़ी से कड़ी सजा दे। हमारे जो लोकल दिल्ली की सरकार है वो इसमें भेदभाव जो कर रही है वो मन को पीड़ा देने वाला है।
Meanwhile, in Mangolpuri, Central Armed Police Force continues to be deployed for the second day.
Even as the political blame game continues, Delhi police have said that the preliminary investigation has revealed it to be a case of business rivalry and the investigation is continuing on all angles. With camera person Sushil Rathi, this is Arvind Gunasekar for NDTV.
And now to poll-bound Assam, where after the BJP took a clear lead in the build-up for the polls 2 months away through public meetings of the Prime Minister, the Home Minister and several new projects and even a sharp price cut of fuel ahead of the polls, the main opposition, Congress, is catching up with its first campaign, the Assam Bachao Yatra, where leaders are taking a bus ride across the state to meet with voters, setting the tone for the polls, where the BJP is a definite heavyweight.
Congress announcement. It's ready for battleground Assam. Gaurav Gogoi dressed in traditional Ahom attire, raising the hangdang, the Ahom sword and declaring the duel.
আজি ৰণৰ কাৰণে তৈয়াৰ হৈছে আজি এই ৰণহংকাৰ এই মঞ্চৰ তৰফৰ পৰা কংগ্ৰেছে আজি প্ৰদেশ কংগ্ৰেছ কমিটি
and flagging off one of 4 Assam Bachao bus yatras that will crisscross the state to take the Congress message to the people in a bid for the Assam Assembly.
This is essentially a grassroots exercise in which we want the voices of ordinary Assamese people to be heard. Their frustrations about issues related to unemployment and corruption and price rise.
The ruling BJP has already kicked off its race by both Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah with a slew of new measures to woo the voters, including rollback of fuel and liquor taxes.
সদনক মই মনত পেলাই দিব খুজু যে অতিৰিক্ত উপকৰ আৰোপ কৰাৰ ফলত প্ৰতি লিটাৰ পেট্ৰল আৰু ডিজেলৰ সৰ্বোচ্চ মূল্য 5 টকাকৈ আমি খুচুৰা মূল্য আমি 5 টকাকৈ বৃদ্ধি কৰিছিলো।
10 रुपए तो 1 लीटर में है ना, दिल्ली में लगता है 3 लीटर, 15 रुपीज बस गया।
थोड़ा सा तो राहत मिलेगी ऐसे कमती होने से, बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया था, अभी आज कम हो गया है, थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही है, ज़्यादा ही है।
Bengaluru, due to COVID, the publishing and book industry in the country had to struggle with a halt in sales when the nationwide lockdown was announced. But here's how some iconic bookstores in Bangalore are turning the page.
They say you can't buy happiness, but you can buy books, and that is the kind of the same thing. When the world was in a lockdown and when a pandemic hit our lives, the book lovers were doubly sad because they couldn't really go to their favorite bookstores. But now with the easing of the restrictions and with the world opening up, this is the story of how some independent bookstores in Bangalore city are facing some challenges yet braving through the pandemic and keeping up with sales. Let's take a look. Blossoms, the iconic bookstore in Bangalore's Church Street area, shut for 2 months in the pandemic, now fully operational.
I'm coming to a bookstore after almost 11 months. I'm preparing for competitive exams now. There's a kind of belongingness that you feel when you're in bookstore, especially if you're an avid reader. It has a good impact on you. Online we do get books, but no matter what discount or what you get there, the satisfaction of coming here is much more, and it has a feel to it.
Came to a bookstore after a year, almost a year or more than that, and it feels good because we have the book itself in our hand, and then we can read, and we love the smell of the pages, so it's quite interesting comparatively to the e-book.
It's wonderful being here. It's wonderful being among books. It's wonderful, even if you don't buy books, it's wonderful to look at titles, look at books, look at things which matter to you.
For Mai Gowda, the owner of the iconic bookstore, shutting shop for 2 months wasn't easy.
Then we put up Instagram post. For some time we were opening, like they allowed for 4 to 5 hours. Then we opened for that time, and we used to get a lot of WhatsApp messages. Then we used to send the books through Porter or Dunzo. Okay. It was very good, overwhelming. We were throughout the day we were busy sending books, and we were getting around 200 to 300. Earlier we used to get 400 to 500 people. January and December and January was good. This month is a bit slow. Yeah, around 75% we are doing. Around 3 to 4 lakh books are there.
Just 2 buildings away lies another iconic bookstore of 20 years, the Bookworm, that has promised good books at great prices for generations.
After lockdown, so only small hours, it means 2 or 3 hours we are open the shop, so whatever we'll get order we can send through in Dunzo and Swiggy. In the lockdown time, so we got a lot of problem because of rent, salary and current bill extra. They will send everything, so we got a lot of problem in that. Now it's better now.
If you asked a book lover what they missed the most during the lockdown months, it would certainly be looking at some of their favorite books. But what really helped bookstores, at least in Bangalore, was e-commerce. That's right, many bookstores in Bangalore took to Dunzo, WhatsApp, Swiggy and even Post to keep up with sale. That's right, they took to Speed Post to be able to sell books to people outside of the city in faraway districts in Karnataka. With camera person Kumar in Bangalore, Shanakshi Chakravarti for NDTV.
And that's the news at this hour on NDTV. Stay tuned for constant updates.